Hi, everybody. I'm Stacy.
And I'm her daughter, Mickey.
And welcome to KiddieNomics. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another fun-filled edition of Kids Financial Literacy Fridays with KiddieNomics. We are so excited to have you guys back. Some of you guys may have had a PA day today, right? Because Mickey had a PA day. So depending on where you live and what country you're joining us from today, you may have had a PA day. So I hope you guys had a good, relaxing Friday and are ready to learn some financial literacy today, right? So today we have a uber special guest. We have Miss Siobhan Bent. We're going to talk about mortgages and mortgage financing. This is a topic that I love because I've been in the industry for such a long time. So she's talking about a good topic that I always love to talk about and what we always love to share on KiddieNomics. So it will be fun today. And beside her, she has a special guest, her son, Mateo. So Mateo's going to be joining her today. Hi, Mateo.
They can hear you. You can say hi.
All right. So I'm going to share my screen. And then we'll get into KiddieNomics. All right, there we go. So KiddieNomics. So first, I'd like to say welcome to all of the new kiddies that have joined us today. Welcome. If it is your first time on KiddieNomics, don't worry and don't be nervous, okay? The kids will welcome you in the chat box. If you do say that it is your first time, just put in the chat box and the kids will welcome you. Also, of course, we love all of our returning kiddies that are here every single week, every Friday, that join us and makes our KiddieNomics community so fun and happy. Love for you guys being here every week, okay? So let's talk about what is KiddieNomics, right? What is KiddieNomics? Why are you here? KiddieNomics is here to help kids ages 8 to about 13 to develop a healthy relationship towards financial literacy, helping to start kids off on the right path to have a successful financial future. That's what we want for you. That's what I want for you. That's what she wants for me. That's what we want for every kiddie around the world. Well, basically every person around the world, right? Everybody can use financial literacy. So that is what KiddieNomics is about. So before we get into today's special guest, just like to go through some housekeeping items as we always do. So please remember, this KiddieNomics webinar, like all of our KiddieNomics webinar, is being recorded, and I will post the video of this KiddieNomics webinar to our KiddieNomics YouTube channel today by 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it depends on where you're joining us from. By the way, I think some of the kids are probably asking about roll call, so don't worry. I'm going to do roll call as soon as I do the housekeeping items, okay? Actually, let me open up the chat box. Okay, everybody's saying hi. Welcome, new people. That's right. So if you are joining us, let me get that out of the way. Just remember that all of our kids, we cannot see or hear you to maintain our privacy or to maintain your privacy. So the only way for you to communicate with us is through the chat box that's up above, down below, to the side, to the corner. I don't know how it could be in the corner, but apparently it could be. So please communicate with us in the chat box. Please remember that we have kids ages, from 8, sometimes younger, to 13, sometimes older. So please remember to always be respectful in our chat box because no question is silly or stupid, right? We just always want to be very respectful in our chat box. And also regarding our chat box, regarding our KiddieNomics community, remember we had Miss Hadriana on last week when we celebrated our anniversary. That was super fun. So please remember that we talked about online money smarts and we always talk about protecting your privacy. So please, in the chat box, I never want to see any personal information. We never want to see, what don't we want to see?
Email addresses, phone numbers,
personal addresses. I don't ever want to see your ages, none of that, right? The chat box is to ask and answer questions in the chat box, okay? So I never want to see any of that. So before I get into roll call, I want to add to roll call because sometimes I forget unless some of you remind me. If you've had a birthday in the last little while or your birthday is coming up, please put it in the chat box so we can wish you happy birthday. And now let's do roll call. Akia says I'm eating pizza. Roll call. Please tell me where you are joining us from today. Which country are you joining us from today? Madeline says Canada. Brielle, Canada. Nicole, Canada. Akira, Canada. Anne, Canada. Micah, England. Hey, Micah. Hi to your mom, too. D. Lewis, my birthday was last month. Hey, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. We'll wish you happy birthday in the chat box. And he's also from Canada. Brielle, your birthday is soon. Yes, I think I heard that. So happy birthday. And let me see. Lisa, Canada. Karen, Canada. Layla, Canada. Koi, Canada. Who did I miss from Canada? Anne said Canada. God's will. God's will. Are you saying Canada? I think so. Let me see. Miles says Canada. Linda says Canada. Oh, okay, we're going back to Kipler pretty soon. All right, I get it. I'm gonna have to find out where your Kipler is in the solar system. Like you guys, I'm gonna have to figure out where this one planet is for you. Let's see. And Janaya says Canada. Hey, guess what? I just got an email from somebody from Qatar today that wants their kids to join KiddieNomics. And I thought that was so cool. Does anybody know where Qatar is? Who can type that in the chat box? Qatar. Qatar. So Qatar. Where is that? Emirates. In the Middle East. In the Middle East, Brielle says. Trudy says Emirates. Ibby says, yep, United. Yep, UAE. That's right. United Emirates. That's right. Layla says, I don't know. Dubai, says Micah. You guys are so good. I love that Google is the best. Middle East, says Akira. Good job. Yeah, so look at that. KiddieNomics has reached that far. And that's all because of you guys and all of the great experts that come on to KiddieNomics every single week. And we talk about all these different topics. Cheryl, your birthday was yesterday. Yay, happy birthday. I would sing, but you don't. Like you guys have heard me. My singing voice is the worst. You don't want me to.
It really is.
It really is. All right. So we've done birthdays and we have done roll call. Let's get into KiddieNomics.
You still forgot about me.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. All right, Nix, where are you from today? Where are you from?
The moon.
The moon. Yeah? Cool.
No, I'm from the sea. But
Where you
actually a book.
Canada.
Okay.
Is that all?
Yeah, says he's from Canada. Because you're sitting beside your mommy. Good job. All right, so let's get into our special guest expert because she is the lady on Instagram that is Mortgages for Moms, which I love. If you ever go on to her Instagram channel, it is so much fun and very good information and very inspirational. So I love, love, love that. So Siobhan Bent is a mother, marketplace minister, mortgage broker, author, and legacy coach. Decided early on that real estate was going to be the way she broke the cycle of generational poverty within her family. When Siobhan took the leap of faith to purchase her first property at the age of 23, the ripe old age of 23, that's amazing. Having the support of a mortgage professional made her experience stress-free, and she instantly fell in love with the real estate industry. A short time after, she made a bold decision to quit her full-time job and jump headfirst into entrepreneurship in the mortgage industry. For the last 20 years, Siobhan, also known as the MortgageLady, has been helping families navigate through the complicated world of financing, and she loves it. Yes, we can tell. So welcome. Let's give a big KiddieNomics round of applause.
You want to give a round of applause? Go.
And to Mateo, we'll give you a round of applause. I will stop sharing my screen and it is over to you, Miss Siobhan. There we go. And let me open up the chat box. Just to remind everybody, I do monitor the chat box. So I will answer and ask Miss Siobhan all of your questions. If it is your first time, the kids know that I'm always in the chat box. So if you have any questions, I will ask. If you do decide to raise your hand, please always remember to type your questions into the chat box, okay? Because I don't know what it is until you type it in. All right, go. Go ahead, Miss Siobhan.
So thank you so much, Stacy, for having me. Hello, Mickey. Thank you for having me. And my son, can you stop, Mateo, on your channel today. Congratulations. I know you celebrated your first year anniversary last week. So yay.
Thank you. That was super fun last week. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
This is an amazing initiative and very well needed. The children are the future. So yes, as long as we are investing in them with the right tools, there's so much more in store for us.
Absolutely.
So here we go. Let me share my screen. All right, can we see that?
Yes.
Perfect. So let me put this there. All right. Thank you, Tay. All right, so guys, just a little bit about me. I know that Stacy shared my bio, but look who's on the screen. I wanted to formally introduce you to my little prince, Mateo. He's the reason why I push so hard. As Stacy mentioned, I did enter the industry almost 20 years ago, and it was really through me just making a decision. I wanted to do something different than my mom had done, and real estate just happened to be the way that I chose, and it's because of what I'm going to share with you shortly. So I work as a mortgage broker, and what I do as a mortgage broker is I help families with the financing of the purchases of their homes. And mainly I work in the real estate, the residential side of things, but there's other types of mortgages that we won't really cover today because we don't have all that time. But I'm going to be speaking to you in the capacity of residential. So where we live, apartment buildings, condo buildings, homes, that's a type of service that I provide for families, and making sure that they find a product that fits their family's needs for today and also for the future. All right. So today's talk, we're going to be talking about how to use other people's money to buy real estate. And so that's just a funny way to say mortgages.
But it's a good way to say it.
It's a
It's
good
a good way to think about that, right?
That's
Like,
right.
what is mortgages? How does it really help you?
How does it really help you? So my introduction to real estate was 23 years ago, which kind of dates me.
No, we won't do the math. Don't
We
worry.
won't do the math? Okay, guys, don't do the math, okay? I had decided that I was ready to move on my own. I wanted to get my own apartment. Was tired of sharing the bathroom and cleaning up after my younger brother and my sister. And so I had a decision to make. I had saved up about $5,000, and I wasn't sure whether I should rent or if I should buy. And so I'm going to ask Mateo to share what is the difference between renting and buying. Come on. You got to speak louder so they can hear you.
I'm not sure.
Are you serious? What is a rent? You told me this last week. What does it mean when you're renting something?
Means you're borrowing something from someone someone who already bought it, and then you're borrowing someone's thing that they bought.
Right. Did you guys? I hope you guys heard him. Did you hear him?
I heard it.
We heard him. But talk. If you could speak a little bit louder the next time.
Okay. So one more time. What is renting?
Renting means that you're borrowing something that is not yours.
Right. And what does it mean to buy something?
Like when you buy something, you is like you can keep it, like it's yours, like for years.
That's right. Right. So I was unclear of what I wanted to do. I had $5,000. Was I going to rent an apartment or was I going to buy an apartment? Oh, hold on. I missed a slide. Oh dear. Okay. I think I missed a slide. And so what I was in my decision process, I was trying to weigh the pros and the cons on how to make that decision. And so as a renter, I understand, like Mateo said, it means you're borrowing something from somebody. So that means somebody owns a place and they would allow me to live there, but I would have to pay them rent on a monthly basis. And it would probably never, ever, ever become mine.
And you get time to use the thing that they own.
Right, for sure. I would be renting it for a period of time. The second thing I was thinking about, if I only had $5,000 saved and I was paying rent, my money would probably finish very, very quickly. And then I wouldn't have any more savings, right? And then the third thing I thought about was, if this is not my place, then I probably won't be able to do creative things that I wanted to do. If I wanted to paint my walls green or purple, I would probably have to ask permission. And so I thought, I'm not sure I was too happy with that side of things. So I weighed the options of becoming a homeowner and buying an apartment. And so right away, I thought, okay, well, if I buy it, it's mine. That means when I'm paying for it, it's totally mine and no one can take it away from me. Secondly, appreciation, meaning in real estate, when you invest in real estate, the real estate market allows your money to grow by your property value increasing, which I'm pretty sure you guys have learned about that already, right? And so that would give me equity. So that means my $5,000 would turn into 10, 20, 30,000 in a period of time. And so the third thing I thought about was, this was a way of me forcing my savings, making sure that I was paying myself first. And if you learned anything about money, that's the number one rule, is to make sure that you practice paying yourself first. And so when investing in real estate, that's exactly what I was doing. All right. And then lastly, I would have the freedom to do whatever I wanted because this home would have been mine. Right? So which one do you think I chose? Did I choose to rent, choose A, or did I choose to buy B? Put it in the chat. Let's see. And let's see how many people
Chat.
guess.
So which one did Miss Siobhan pick? Did she choose to A, rent, or did she choose to B, buy?
Oh, I can't
Let's
see
see
the
what the
chat.
kids say. So,
I'm gonna say
it-
E.
hey, it's a mix on here, but it's so let me just see.
I see a
Linda
lot
says
of
B,
B's.
Micah says B, Ann says buy, Jenna says B,
Ooh,
Akira
lots of
says B,
B's.
Nicole says B, buy, B, Ibby.
Okay.
A, who said A? A said Layla, but Layla changed her name, so hopefully it worked. Um, Cheryl B, Madeline B, Brielle A.
Mm-hmm.
A, B. Most of the kids said B. Coy says B, Cheryl B. Carissa, welcome Carissa B.
Yeah, B.
B,
I choose B.
Be the answer.
you guys are correct.
Yay!
This was my first home I bought. It was a condo apartment in Islington and Toronto, in the Islington and Finch area. And that was my backyard where that little star is.
You didn't tell me that you used to live in apartments.
I did.
No, you didn't.
He doesn't remember. But anyhow, the sale price was $100,000 for this condo apartment. And so if you guys remember, I said I had saved how much money? Do you remember how much?
$5,000.
$5,000. So if the property was $100,000, how did I get the money to buy it? How was I able to buy it? I needed $95,000.
Okay, that's just a lot.
That's a lot, right?
Let's ask the kids. Ibby says mortgage. What do you say, Mix?
Entrepreneurship.
Nikki says entrepreneurship. You worked for it, which is awesome. Mortgage time says Ibby. Lisa says invested. Miles says, I don't know. Madeline says mortgage.
Okay. Well, yes, guys, I did. I got a mortgage. I worked with a mortgage broker and I got approved for a mortgage of $95,000. And so mortgage, aka other people's money, allowed me to purchase real estate a lot sooner than I would be able to had I had to wait to save that money. All right. And so what is a mortgage? A mortgage is a loan given by a bank or a mortgage lender to help you buy a home. It can allow you to get into a home a lot sooner than if you had saved the whole purchase price.
And my mom's job is that if someone wants to buy a house, the person calls my mom, and then my mom gives the person the money, and then what else was that?
I helped them to get a mortgage.
Then you help them to get a mortgage.
And then they move into their home.
Then they move into their home.
Yay, thank you.
Good job.
Yeah.
Miss Siobhan, we have a question from Akira. Can you go back a couple of slides? And she just wants to know what is the difference between a buying and renting?
Okay.
Oh.
So the difference between
rent and buy
Oh.
means that
You want to do it? Okay.
the difference is between rent and buy is that if someone wants to, let's say if
Renting is
let's
borrowing.
say if I wanted to rent a own Lamborghini for $25,000,
Then what?
then I would get an hour so I can use
Okay,
the
but hold on.
Lamborghini.
Okay, so we're talking about homes though. So let me talk about that. So when you're renting a
Means that
place
you're-
to live,
Means that you're borrowing something that
Right.
doesn't really belong to you.
that's right. And if you're owning, if you're buying, that means
that when you're buying something means that you can keep it forever.
essentially, yes. Does that answer your question?
Akira, did that answer your question? So renting means that you don't own it, right? And buying means that you do own it. Akira says yes.
Awesome. All right. Okay. There we go.
Oh, Ibby, what don't you get? Can you write your question in the chat box for me, please? That's okay. Don't worry. We'll go on until he types the question in the chat box.
All right. So something I also like to talk about with respect to mortgages, other people's money, is that it's also can be used as a wealth building tool. Why? Because if I had $10,000, I could have put the $10,000 on the one home, right? So that means I would have needed a $90,000 mortgage, or I could have used $5,000 on one property and $5,000 and bought a second property because I was able to get a mortgage, right? So a mortgage gives you, Mateo, can you stop, please? Can you stop? A mortgage helps you to buy multiple properties as well. Yep.
Can we just go back to clarifying what exactly is a mortgage again? A couple of the kids didn't understand. Yeah, so if you go back to this one and could you just review that a
Yeah.
little bit?
Okay, so a mortgage is a loan that is given by the bank or a mortgage lender. And so what it does, as I mentioned here, the sale price of the property was $100,000 and I only had $5,000. So the bank gave me $95,000 to purchase this property. So it's a loan, right?
Which means that you are borrowing the money, right?
Absolutely.
And that means that you will have to pay back the money
Right. Which
in
we'll go into next.
installments.
I was gonna say that.
Oh, good job.
Good job.
Right?
Baby.
So a mortgage is, as Ms. Siobhan is saying, that it's money that you are borrowing from a lender and that you will have to pay back over time. Is that correct, Ms. Siobhan?
That is absolutely correct.
Awesome. Did that help? Let me know in the chat box, okay?
So how much did it cost for me to borrow this $95,000? So the bank, when you get a mortgage loan, you're responsible for making regular payments back to the lender. And so the cost to borrow the money is also included in the payments that you make. Interest is charged in either a fixed rate or a variable rate. And so I had opted to get a fixed rate, which meant my 2.5 was going to be the cost of the loan for 5 years and amortized over 25 years. And so what that looked like in terms of payment was $442.59 that I would have to pay every single month until it was zero. And I'm going to show you the next slide. And so in the payment, when you make the mortgage payment, the lender uses a portion of it that goes towards the interest, which is the cost to borrow the $95,000, and the remainder is applied to the principal, meaning the actual amount of money that I borrowed, right? And so in this particular payment, the breakdown is that the interest portion was $204.77, and the principal portion was $237.82. And so this payment paid over 25 years, then the property would then become mine. So how it works is what an amortization it does is every payment, there is an adjustment with the payment. So every payment made, there is an interest portion that decreases, it goes down and gets smaller, and the principal portion increases, it goes up. So it's the same payment, but it's almost like a seesaw, and it goes like this. So as I'm paying my payments, I'm paying down the balance, but increasing my equity, what I own within the property. Question?
Yes, Micah wants to know what is an amortization, but I think you just explained it. So Micah, can you let me know if that was clear enough for you?
Mhm.
So the amortization is the amount of years in total that you have to pay back the mortgage. Yeah, Micah says yes. Perfect.
Thank you. All right, and so this is kind of a visual as what an amortization looks like. So the red is reflects the $95,000 that I borrowed from the bank. Okay? And remember, making the payments of $442, every time I paid, a portion was the principal, which is the dark blue area, if you can see that.
Yep.
And the interest portion, the $207, is the light blue area, right? And so for every time I made a payment, the seesaw started to adjust, right? And so by the end of 25 years, I've repaid everything that I owed, the $95,000 that I borrowed, and the property is mine. Following along? We got questions? Great. Go ahead.
I have a couple of questions.
Yes.
So I'm going to go to the first one, which is Jenna. Jenna wants to know, so do you have to pay the $442.59 every month for the mortgage?
Yes. That is the fixed payment. And so for 5 years or longer, depending on the term that anyone can choose, that's what the payment is. $442. It doesn't make any changes. Had I chosen a different option, the variable rate option, the mortgage payment could change, but I went with the fix, and so the payments were the same for the every payment every month.
Awesome. Jenna, I hope that helped. If it's, let me know if it didn't. Trudy wants to know, I'm not sure if you're going to cover this in your slides going forward, but she wants to know, what do I need to get a mortgage?
Oh, yes, I am going to cover that. I am going to cover that.
Okay, so Trudy will answer that question a little bit later on. That's an awesome question. So we'll get into that. Miles wants to know, why do I have to pay? Oops, sorry, you guys are typing and it moved. Miles wants to know, why do I have to pay principal portion if I already paid the interest?
That's because there's a cost to borrow the money, right? And so because you are asking the bank to borrow the money, they're not just gonna, the bank is in the business of making money, let's say this. And so every investment, there is a price, right? So I paid $100,000 for the property and I borrowed $95,000. So the bank says, sure, we'll give it to you, but we're going to charge you interest for however long it takes you to pay back the rest. Mateo, are you done?
Okay.
Thank you. Right.
Bye.
So that's why, because there's a cost to borrow money from the bank.
Perfect. Let me know, Miles, if that was clear for you. Nelma wants to know, can you pay more than the fixed payment each month? Isn't that a great question?
Question.
I tell you, the kids on KiddieNomics ask the most insightful questions. They're just awesome.
You absolutely can. So with every mortgage, 99% of the mortgages, they do offer you the ability to pay extra on your payments. But there is a little guideline. So because you are taking a mortgage for a period of time, you're agreeing to keeping that mortgage for that time. So they give you a little bit of wiggle room. So for example, because my payment is $442, right? And I decided I wanted to pay an extra $100 because I had extra money. I could pay $542 every month as long as it didn't exceed the limit that was given to me by the lender. So yes, you definitely can pay extra than what the agreed term is. Great question.
Awesome. Thanks, Nelma, for that question. Hopefully that was clear. If not, let us know in the chat box. Okay, go ahead, Miss Siobhan.
Awesome. All right. How do you access a mortgage? Well, mortgages are offered through banks, which some of you may familiarize yourself with the columns on the right, trust companies, mortgage lenders, as well as private lenders. And so the images that you see on the right, on the left, my left, sorry, are more the big top banks. So you have Royal Bank, you have Scotiabank, National Bank, CIBC, TD, and Bank of Montreal. And then all of these little ones, plus more, on the right-hand side are lenders that I access as a mortgage broker, and as Miss Stacy as well too is a broker. We have a pool of lenders that we can access to assist with mortgage financing. And so with these types of lenders, they have various types of products to meet the needs of particular clients. Yes.
We just have 2 more questions because they're just related to your last slide.
Okay.
And so if you don't mind, Miles wants to know, do you still have to pay for the water bill after you've paid the mortgage, or is it added to the mortgage each month?
I love these questions. You absolutely do have to pay the water bill, but it is separate from the mortgage payment.
So you have to pay your mortgage and the water bill.
And the water bill, yes.
Correct? Okay.
Correct.
Trudy wants to know, so if I pay extra and pay off quickly, does the bank still charge me all that interest? This is coming from our kids. Isn't that amazing?
This is amazing.
Oh my gosh.
So this is where, and I didn't include this, so thank you for that. There's different payment options. You can pay the bank on a monthly basis, or you can pay them on a bi-weekly basis, or you can pay them on an accelerated bi-weekly as well as weekly. So the more times you pay, you make your payment, you're actually paying off your mortgage a lot quicker. And so the quicker you make the payments, the less interest you are paying. So if I decided that I wanted to pay that extra $100, right? That extra $100 would be going directly to the principal amount of the mortgage, which means that that amount would be decreasing a lot faster. And in turn, saving me hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars in interest money. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Judy, was that clear?
Was that
awesome.
clear?
That was an amazing question. Mickey has a question.
Yes, Mickey.
If you bought the apartment and you have to pay for the bills, do you still have to pay for the bills? Do you still have to pay for the mortgage?
Sorry, I couldn't hear her.
Sorry, she said if you buy the apartment, the condo, so are you paying for the mortgage and paying for all the bills at the same time?
Absolutely. With a condo apartment, there are other fees that are included. It's called a maintenance fee or a condo fee. And so typically that covers the utilities. So it could cover your gas, your hydro. Some buildings, it can cover your water. In other buildings, it may be separate, but that is, and also covers the grounds, the keeping. So the snowing, the shoveling of snow, cutting the grass. So yes, you have your mortgage payment, but you'll also have your maintenance or condo fee that you'll have to pay in addition to that.
Perfect.
Great question.
Okay, last question, or it's a statement, and then we'll let you go on, Ms. Siobhan. Sorry, I told you the kids ask the most
good. This is
questions,
good.
right? So Jenna wants to know, so here's her statement. She says, so interest is like how the bank makes money from you, right? Like that's their profit. That's what she says.
Absolutely. Jenna's a genius.
Right?
That is exactly what they do. That is exactly
right.
what they do.
All right. Okay, welcome, Tracy. Okay, so yeah, that's good. Let's go on.
All right. And so someone asked, how do you qualify for a mortgage? Or how do you get a mortgage? And so when I want you to think about, when you're thinking about qualifying for a mortgage, think of the ICE formula, right? And so the ICE formula stands for income, credit, and equity. All right. And I'm going to go into them in detail. So your income, of course, if you're asking the bank to borrow money, they're going to want to know that you're going to be able to repay them, right? And so we'll have to provide confirmation that you do have a job, you do get steadily stable income, whether that is weekly income, bi-weekly income, or monthly income. And they will call to verify that information, right? So we will have to provide proof that yes, you can afford the property that you are asking to buy. And so the C is for credit. And so this, I know you guys have been schooled on credit. This could be a whole webinar on its own, probably even 6 webinars. Your credit is really, really almost it's as important as income, but sometimes it's a little bit more important than income, because what your credit tells the bank is, how do you manage your debt? How do you pay your debts? Do you have a lot of debts? Are you going to be able to afford this other debt that you're asking for? And so your credit shows exactly what your relationship has been with that. And so that is a very, very key factor in them determining whether they will say yes to you or say no to you.
So we have done credit before in the past. We've done it a few times. If you have missed any of our webinars on credit, please check out our KiddieNomics YouTube channel, and you can review some of our past webinars on credit. But don't worry, we'll always discuss credit again and again, because it is so important to truly understand credit. Okay, so we'll have credit coming up again and again on KiddieNomics. But if you've missed it, check out our KiddieNomics YouTube channel.
Awesome. And so the E in the ICE formula is the equity, otherwise known as the down payment. So if you remember, in my purchase, my transaction, I had $5,000. So I had to let the bank know that I had $5,000, and that's how we determined that I would need $95,000. And so they want to make sure that you have, some form of investment into this purchase as well. And so we got to show the bank where that money is saved, how long you've been saving it, and make sure that you will have enough in order to finalize the purchase. Yes.
So Trudy has another amazing question. She wants to know, what do I need to make for income to get a mortgage, and what type of credit do I need?
Trudy. All right. So income is very variable, which means there's no set income to determine how much mortgage you can buy, but your income rather helps to determine how much mortgage you can qualify for, right? And so as long as you're working, as long as your debt ratio isn't very high, your income can tell you where you can purchase, how much you can purchase for, and for how long you can purchase for. So I can't give you a specific number, but it's basically based on what you currently own will determine how much your budget would be. I hope that answers.
Yep, Trudy, let us
And
know
then
if that
credit.
answered your question. And then she had the other section about credit. And then I have another question from Akira.
Okay, so with credit, lenders want to know that you have a very respectful relationship with your credit. So if you do use a credit card, which means, again, that's still borrowing money, that you are making your payments on time, you are not overextending yourself, so you're not using out all your credit to do frivolous shopping. And that you are not really credit shopping. You're not looking for credit cards from a whole bunch of stores and then maybe not being able to afford to make those payments. And so in terms of credit score, I would say these days 680 should be the target, but 650 could probably still get you in the door.
Perfect. Hopefully that answered your question, Trudy? Let me know in the chat box. And then last one before we go on, because I know you're going to explain equity, because a couple of the kids want to know, what does equity mean? And Akira wants to know, hold on, Akira, I'm going to get to your question. Akira, what's your question? Sorry, did I miss it?
I don't think she put it in yet.
She did.
Wait,
sorry. Okay, 2 seconds. Akira, how do we get a mortgage? How do we actually get, I think she's asking, like, where do you go to get it? Is that what you're asking, Akira?
Okay. So how do you get a mortgage? Mortgages are offered through all of these institutions and more. So you would access a mortgage through either going directly to the bank or leveraging the services of a mortgage broker like myself and Miss Stacy. And so in that process, you would have a conversation with the lender or with your mortgage broker and breakingly giving them the details, your income details, your credit details, as well as your equity, which is your down payment. How much money do you have saved? And once we've gathered all of that information, we're able to determine how much of a mortgage you can qualify for and how much of a house that you can buy.
Perfect. All right. Go ahead. All right. I think you're at equity. A couple of kids want to know, what does equity mean? So I know you're going to explain it to us now.
Yeah. So equity is the, I want to say the sum of value in between the price of the property is worth and how much is secured by your loan. So in my example, I purchased the property for $100,000. My down payment was $5,000, and then the bank gave me $95,000. So my equity in this purchase was only $5,000, which would equivalent to 5%.
Did everybody understand that?
You understand?
Just let me know in the chat box, yes or no. Yep. Madeline says yes. Akira says no. Layla says yes.
Okay.
Layla, I changed your name, so I don't know why it's not coming up. Anne says yep, yep. Reynolds says yes. Yep, yep-a-roo. Karen says, so can you just explain it one more time for Akira? Most of the kids said yes. Tracy said no.
Okay. So equity is just another term for down payment. And what your down payment is the money that you've saved to purchase your property, which would be called your down payment, right? So I decided I wanted to purchase this condo and I had $5,000 saved in the bank. Now, when I purchased the property for $100,000 and the bank gave me $95,000, my equity, my investment, my portion, my security was $5,000, meaning I only owned 5% of that property initially.
Awesome. I hope everybody got that. Oh, that makes sense, says Jenna. So I think they got that.
Wonderful.
I have a question from Trudy.
Mhm.
This is a question that I get almost every time we do a real estate webinar. They want to know, how old do I have to be able to buy a house?
Oh, I love these forward thinkers. I love it.
I love this question. Somebody always asks this question every time we do real estate.
That's great. That's great. Got to plant the seed. All right. So in Canada, I can only speak to Canada. I'm not quite sure about the United States, but in Canada, a minimum age of 18 years old to purchase a property. So I think many of you could be very close to that. So start saving.
Kelsey says, wow. Okay. Trudy has another question. What if I don't have any savings? And then I have another question from Nelma. Oh, and she wants to know, can my parents buy a house in my name?
Can your parents buy a house in your name? If the mortgage is going to be in your name, you have to qualify for the mortgage. So again, with the ICE formula, we have to use your income, your credit, and the savings can be a gift from your parents, but if it's going to be in your name, you have to qualify for the mortgage.
She says, got it. So she wanted to know, if she's a minor, can her parents buy the house for her in her name if she's a minor?
Yes, they could. Absolutely.
I love it. Trudy says, got it. I had another question here. Nelma wants to know, so when you're paying your mortgage, so when you're paying mortgage, you're paying to get the 95%. So they want to, so Nelma wants to know, so the mortgage is you paying off the 95% because you put down the other 5%. Is that correct?
Yes. Gee, sorry about that. Yes. So the mortgage is amortized in order for me to repay that $95,000 plus the cost to borrow the $95,000.
Okay. All right. Perfect. You can go ahead.
All right.
Oh, sorry. Trudy wants to know, what if I don't have savings?
Oh, yes. If you don't have savings, this is where you can tap into your parents. Your parents or family members can gift you the down payment in order for you to purchase the property, a property.
Perfect. Oh, Trudy says, yippee.
I can't wait till Trudy buys her property.
Right? All right, go ahead.
Awesome. So we are actually at the close. And so I just wanted to thank you guys for joining and want you to understand that the time that you've invested in getting educated with financial literacy is going to be the game changer between where you are today and where your family's financial future will be. So, because financial literacy is truly the key ingredient to creating generational wealth. And I just wanted to say congratulations. Thank you for being
Woo-hoo! Thank you, Miss Siobhan. That was awesome. And that is her contact information for anybody that wants to follow up with Miss Siobhan. If you had any additional questions, or if you're thinking about, financing a property, or if you had any more questions, like as you guys are younger and like Trudy that's thinking about buying a home as soon as possible, feel free to reach out to her. But that was absolutely amazing. Let me just see. The kids have a few more questions, so let me just go back.
I built my skin.
Okay, hold on. Sorry. Sorry, one person, who said that? I love your nails. Somebody said that.
Thank you.
Trudy says, thank you so much. I love this. Jenna said, thank you. Oh, it was Karen. Karen says, I just love the nails.
Okay, thank you,
Akira
Karen.
wants to know, Akira wants to know if we could just clarify again, what is equity?
Equity is the difference between what your property is worth. So my property was worth $100,000 and the security against the property. So the mortgage against the property was $95,000. So the equity is the difference between those two, which was $5,000, and that was what I used for my down payment.
Perfect. I hope that helped. Akira, let me know in the chat box, but thank you. All the kids are saying thank you so much. Trudy says beauty and brains. Jenna wants to know, what is a down payment? We have a few more minutes, so I'm gonna get through their questions.
You mind? Yeah.
That one. What is a down payment?
So your down payment is your savings, right? So every time you budget in your budget and you set aside a certain amount of money to purchase your property, that is what you're going to ultimately use to purchase as your contribution to the purchase of your property, which is called down payment. So my property was $100,000. I had $5,000 as my down payment, and I financed or got a mortgage for $95,000.
Perfect. All right, so that's it. All right, so let's wrap up. Thank you again, Miss Siobhan. Big round of applause. That was amazing. That was perfect. So the kids learned a lot, as you can tell, and asked really great questions as usual. So thank you. And thank you to Mateo for his answers also. He did an amazing job.
Thank you.
Thank you. So if you could stay on, Carissa says, well done. The kids are giving you all claps in the chat box. So I'm going to share my screen to just wrap up, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
And then I do have something to talk to you guys about also. Okay, so question, what would happen if kids became more financially literate? I asked this question on every single KiddieNomics webinar, because this answer to us is really why we do KiddieNomics for you guys every week. And our answer is real change that impacts the world. I think you kids are so bright and so awesome. And I think just with the power of financial literacy that it's giving you, you guys, beyond the sky's the limit. And whatever it is that you guys choose to do and be, and we've talked about this many times on KiddieNomics, like what is your superpower and all of the skills and what you guys want to do, everything from being an artist to being an electrician, to being a doctor, to being an engineer. Like, you guys are phenomenal. And just financial literacy will just help you guys get to and achieve whatever it is that you choose to achieve, okay? So what does that mean? For us, we call you guys our young financial literacy ambassadors, What is an ambassador? An ambassador is an authorized messenger or representative. And believe me, you guys are our best representative and messengers out there. The way that you guys always share KiddieNomics and just talk about what you've learned on KiddieNomics, because the more that you share your knowledge, the stronger that you will become. So that's why we say knowledge is our
Superpower.
superpower. Knowledge is our superpower, because you guys share this knowledge with your friends and your family and your community, and the stronger that you guys will become. And we will become as a community, right? So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Can I flip?
Oh, sorry. All right. So here is our schedule until the end of June. So we had Miss Siobhan today. Next week, we have Miss Christina Morgan. We're going to talk about public relations. So a lot of you guys are kiddiepreneurs on here. We always encourage entrepreneurship on KiddieNomics. We've talked about this many times, and I like to give you guys like different ideas as to what you can do as kids to start making money now as a child. And part of that is, you know, getting media attention for the things that you would like to do. So that is going to be talking about public relations. So we're going to talk to Miss Christina next week. And then the following week is supposed to be Miss Brittany Hardy, but we are switching that out. And we're going to talk about podcasting with Mr. Aziz.
Podcasting?
Yeah. So a couple of you have already have your own podcast and want to know more about starting your own podcast and how you can make money doing podcasts. So we're going to talk to Mr. Aziz about that. So that's going to be, sorry, my throat is so dry. Sorry, Friday, June 18th. And then the last week of June, we're going to talk to Mr. Corey Sherwood, which is awesome. He is a director, I believe, at Facebook. And we're going to talk about Facebook ads.
That's Leah's birthday.
Oh yeah, June 25th. That is my daughter's birthday. I have a little one. That's her birthday. All right, well, we're still having KiddieNomics. So that will be Friday, June 25th. And we're going to talk about Facebook ads. Okay, going into the summer this summer, our time will need to change. And this is what I wanted to talk to everybody about really quickly. So right now we're at 5 to 6 every single Friday, but because we're going to the summer months and you guys are going to be off of school, so we will be changing our time to most likely 1 p.m. on a Friday. So it's an earlier time so that you guys can, you know, get out and play and don't have to come back inside in the evening time, right, to join KiddieNomics. So I'm going to be setting up our summertime schedule, just working on that. So as soon as I have that ready, I will let you guys know in the next coming weeks, okay? But just to prepare you, the KiddieNomics will change their time. KiddieNomics will change our time to about 1 p.m. For the summer months, okay? I have summer camp, I cannot do, oh no, Ronell, you're on summer camp, okay. All right, so that's it for that. Next one is,
I already clicked on it.
oh, you did? Sorry. Okay, so we always want to hear from you. I love when you guys send me ideas as to what you want to learn on KiddieNomics, because when you guys tell me something, I go find an expert to present on KiddieNomics, and we have 52 weeks in the year. So that's a lot of learning to do. So help me with different topics that you may want to learn about. And if you can always send me an email at kiddienomics101@gmail.com. Please don't ever send me anything without your parents' permission, right? I know some of you guys are older, but please get your parents' permission before you send me an email. Or you can always like and follow us on
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok.
and TikTok. Hey, did anybody notice that we posted our first TikTok video? I know,
Finally.
Miss Siobhan, you're pretty active on TikTok, right? So yeah, we've been we've had our TikTok account for almost a year and didn't post a video. So we posted our first video for anybody to check it out. It's not a dance video, but I did commit, Miss Siobhan, that I would have a TikTok video up by the end of May, and we did. So I met my commitments, but it's not a dance video. But maybe you and I can do a video because we're still trying to get comfortable with TikTok or something, like we are
Word? That's you.
Yeah, she's pretty comfortable, but I think it's just me to do a dance.
Well,
Anyway,
you've done one now, so listen, you're a veteran.
right? We did one, but it's not a dance video, but I still got the one posted. Anyway, so check it out on our TikTok channel, and we'll have more videos posted soon. I'll start making them over the summer, so we will get more out to you guys soon. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Ms. Siobhan, for your knowledge and sharing it with the KiddieNomics community. Everybody have a wonderful Friday, and we will see you next week. So, bye.